Hey everybody, it's Corbett from HomeAway RV. I wanted to share my experiences and a few things I've learned a few months ago when we were buying our travel trailer. And one of the biggest questions I had, and I think a lot of people shopping for a new RV or their next RV have this question, is how much should I really tow? You'll notice the question isn't how much can I tow, and I want to be very clear that I'm not here to tell you what your rig can tow because everybody has their opinions on what can really be towed. What I'm here to talk about is how much you should tow based on the recommendations of the manufacturer and the laws of the land. So, again, everybody knows a guy who towed a fifth wheel with a Volkswagen Beetle and never got in an accident and everything was fine and totally safe. I'm not going to argue with anybody who has their opinions on what's safe, although that is a very important part of deciding what you should tow. I'm here to explain what I learned very roughly on how much I believe you should tow to keep yourself legal. Because frankly, if you listen to the RV dealer, whose commission is generally based on how much you spend, and as a general rule, the bigger, heavier RVs cost more and put more money into his pocket, we'd see all the rigs driving down the road looking something like this. So the reason I wanted to put this research into knowing what I should tow really comes down to one thing, and I can't make it any clearer than this. So I want to quickly explain the different ways that it could cost you money if you decide to buy an RV that is too big for your tow vehicle. First of all, everyone will say that you're a private, not-for-hire recreational vehicle / trailer, and you're not going to be held to the commercial vehicle laws. Generally, that's true. However, here are the states in red that require even privately owned RVs, if their gross weight, and that is the tow vehicle and the trailer, are more than 10,000 pounds, which is very easy to do, to stop at a weigh station. If you go to a weigh station and you're overweight, which we'll get into that definition pretty soon, you could get a fairly large fine as well as a ticket. So that's one way it could cost you money. On top of these states, all of these states give every law enforcement officer the right to identify any vehicle that he may feel is overweight and redirect them to the nearest weigh station to be checked. So even if you're underweight, if you're close and a law enforcement officer who maybe is having a slow day sees your rig and thinks you might be overweight, it can be a major inconvenience to have to find the closest weigh station and go through the process. Lastly, and most seriously, is there are accidents while towing trailers. Unfortunately, it's just the reality. And if you are in an accident, it could cost you a ton of money if you were proven to be overweight. And again, we'll get into those definitions in potentially a few ways. There could be an accident that is definitely not your fault, but if somebody, God forbid, gets injured or killed, and their family or they hire a lawyer, and a lawyer hears that an RV was involved, they will more than likely do some research into what the RV was, what was towing it, and if you are found that you were traveling overweight, even an accident that wasn't your fault can very quickly become your fault because you were participating in an unsafe practice of driving an overweight vehicle. Also, if you're in a single vehicle accident and you damage your RV, your own insurance company could very well have their lawyers look into what were you driving, what were you pulling, and get into enough detail that maybe they don't have to pay your claim. So those are the reasons to stay within the allowable weights as governed by the manufacturers and the lawmakers. Now, I want to warn you right now, things are about to get very nerdy, but these are important concepts to understand, and really the whole point is so you can arm yourself and you can know going into an RV dealership that has hundreds, if not thousands of RVs, what your limits are going to be and focus on getting yourself something that you can legally have out on the road tomorrow to start your journey. So again, I'll warn one more time, this is going to get nerdy. It's even going to include a spreadsheet. but I will go through this as quickly as possible while covering the details that you really need to know. I want to focus first on what you need to know about your tow vehicle. Again, this is assuming, like a lot of us, you already have a tow vehicle, you've decided to get an RV, and you're not out there to buy an RV and a new tow vehicle or truck, okay? So what you really need to know about your tow vehicle that plays into this process is first, the maximum allowable weight of your tow vehicle without the RV attached. Okay, this is going to include your vehicle's curb weight, which is what it weighs, full of gas and oil, all its fluids, sitting on the curb, nobody in it, nothing in the front, nothing in the back. That's your vehicle curb weight. Very easy to find with a Google search. Just punch in the specs of your vehicle and you can find the curb weight very easily. It's provided by the manufacturer. Then you need to add, to get to this maximum allowable weight, the weight of your passengers. So you need to be honest with yourself. I have a family of 5 and 2 dogs that more often than not, they're all going with me camping. So there's going to be a substantial amount of passenger weight. If you're getting an RV that you're going to travel by yourself, all you need to worry about is yourself as the passenger, but you may want to leave yourself a little bit of leeway in case you do want to take a hunting partner or a buddy or a friend or whatever. So be reasonable with what your passenger weight could be in any realistic situation where you're going to have more than just yourself. Also included in this is the cargo weight. That is every single thing that's going to be in your tow vehicle besides your passengers. So it's the snacks and the backpack and the drinks. And most importantly, what really starts to play into this is, what are you going to have in the bed of your pickup if you're hauling with a pickup? Do you take dirt bikes with you when you go camping, or is that what you're going to want to do? Are you going to have a generator that can easily weigh 100 to 200 pounds plus 3 or 4 gallons of fuel? Are you going to take a barbecue with you because that's important to you? So think about everything that realistically you'll be taking with you that will be in your tow vehicle. All of that together is called the gross vehicle weight rating, also known as GVWR. Also very easy to find on Google or in the door jamb on the driver's side of your tow vehicle. Again, to be clear, this is a rating put together by the manufacturer and the government that says before you even have an RV attached, this is the maximum this vehicle should ever weigh when it's going down the road. Okay, so if your tow vehicle and your passengers and your cargo is put on a roadside scale or at a truck stop scale, they will tell you what the maximum weight should be, which is very, very important to know. We will also talk about how this ties to your RV weight to figure out how much you can actually tow. The other thing to know about your tow vehicle before we even worry about an RV is the maximum allowable weight of the vehicle when the RV is attached. So this is everything. You're hooked up to your RV, you're going down the road, you get forced to go to a weigh station, all your axles are going to be on this scale. So this is you, your passengers, your cargo, the weight of your tow vehicle, the weight of your RV with everything that's in it. And again, this is an allowable rating that says, it tells law enforcement, if they pull over and weigh a Toyota Tundra or an F-150 and everything that's in it and hooked up to it weighs a certain amount, it better be under X. Again, this is very easy to find, so that's a very important number. This is called the gross combined vehicle weight rating. And I know we're getting a lot of acronyms and a lot of initials, but this is something very important to know. So obviously, you can't go over this weight at any time. You can't go over either of these weights. But they're usually not the deciding factor in how much you can really tow, and we'll get to that. So that's what you need to know about your tow vehicle. Obviously, the second thing you need to know is when you're looking at an RV, 3 different things that we want to go over. The first is, just like with your tow vehicle, there's a maximum allowable weight of your RV, and that includes the RV itself, of course, any cargo that you put into the RV, and fluids. Travel trailers, especially, can have up to 40, 50, 60, sometimes 70-gallon freshwater tanks, and that adds a considerable amount of weight to your RV. So you want to make sure that when you are putting items into your RV, or if you're filling it with water before the long haul to your campsite, that you stay under this rating. This is, again, a gross vehicle weight rating, and it is what the manufacturer and the government, and I'm going to say this a lot, have deemed as the allowable weight. Regardless of if you think you can put some more weight in there and it doesn't feel bad, nothing like that, this is what you are allowed to do legally. All right, the next thing to know about any trailer you're potentially looking at is the weight of your RV with no cargo and empty tanks. This is as it rolls off the showroom floor, and it's called the dry weight. Sometimes it's called the shipping weight, but any RV that you look up online or you're asking a dealership about has to publish their gross vehicle weight rating and their dry weight. The third thing to know about your RV is the amount of weight that gets transferred to your tow vehicle when you connect it. This is extremely important, which we will see here in a minute. This is called the tongue weight. So basically, obviously, some amount of weight from your RV is supported just by your RV's axles, but a significant amount of weight when you hook up to your tow vehicle will be transferred, and that is what they're talking about when they call it the tongue weight. And on that note, I really want to mention this, and I can't be any more clear about it. There is not a product on the market that will allow your tow vehicle to tow more than it is rated and designed for. And we all know there are aftermarket shocks, there are airbags, there are all kinds of anti-sway weight distribution hitches. They all serve a purpose. They can eliminate sag in the rear end of your truck when you're hooked up. They can level your truck. They can make for a much more smooth ride. They can make things safer. In fact, I would never recommend towing any trailer without a weight distribution hitch, but all they're doing is distributing the weight from right there at the point of connection, usually a trailer ball, towards the front of the pickup so it's more evenly distributed. They are not allowing you to carry any more weight. And if you don't believe me, get pulled over when you're overweight and tell that law enforcement officer, or better yet, when you go to court to argue your ticket, tell them that you had an accessory installed on your truck which meant you could tow more than the allowable weight. It doesn't work, it doesn't hold water, and that is because no matter what any manufacturer says, their product does not allow your tow vehicle to carry more weight than it is rated for. You'll also notice there is a spec that I haven't even mentioned, which may seem wrong or counterintuitive, and that is your vehicle's towing capacity. Again, the person who lines their pockets more when you buy a more expensive vehicle will tell you very simply, what's the towing capacity of your tow vehicle? Which is also very easy to look up. And you can say, it's 9,000 pounds. And they'll say, great, let's go look at any trailer under 9,000 pounds. Very, very rarely is that the factor that decides if you can tow your RV that you're looking at. Again, we're about to talk right now about how all of these different weights and concepts we've just discussed tie together into telling you what you can actually pull, but it's a very rare circumstance where if your truck can tow 9,000 pounds, you can buy a trailer that weighs 9,000 pounds. We will get into that here shortly. Did I warn you things were going to get nerdy? I'm pretty sure I did. At least I hope so, because we're about to spend some time tying all this together by looking at a spreadsheet of all things. All right, folks, we are to the nerdiest part of this video that I've been warning you about, and that is a spreadsheet designed to tell you, based on your tow vehicle, what weight RV you should be looking for. So as nerdy as it is, I feel it's very helpful to be able to go to a dealership or browse online and say, hey, I have no interest in trailers that weigh more than this dry, or that have a tongue weight of more than this, because frankly, I can't haul it with my current tow vehicle. So in a way, it limits you, but it also gives you the freedom to know you're not wasting your time and you're only looking at RVs that will fit with your current tow vehicle. So very quickly, I want to go through how this works. If you want a copy of this, just let us know. Just send us an email. I'll put the email address up here, and I'm more than happy to send this to you. If it's still a little confusing and you're not huge into spreadsheets because you're not as big of a nerd as I am, just let me know what your tow vehicle is, what the weight of the passengers you expect to routinely have is, how much weight you need to have in your bed. Again, if you have dirt bikes or side by sides, or you always need to carry a generator because you're dry camping, anything like that, include that in the estimate of what needs to be in the tow vehicle. And then your guess, and always guess high because you'll be amazed how much stuff you end up putting in a trailer, of what you need to have in your trailer to camp the way you want to with your family. With that information and the specs of your truck, I am more than happy to fill this out and send it to you with a recommended maximum weight of a trailer you're looking for and the maximum tongue weight. I'm happy to help. In fact, I enjoy this stuff because, again, I'm a total nerd and I get it. But to go through this, the dry weight of my truck is 5,625. I got that from the manufacturer's website. The best way to do it would be to take my truck, go to a weigh station, jump out of it, get my truck weighed, because I do have oversized wheels and tires, and those can add to it. So the best way to know your truck's dry weight is to get the dang thing weighed. I haven't done that yet, but I'm pretty safe going with the manufacturer's weight. The gross vehicle weight rating, that you can always get online from the manufacturer. Again, that's the number that you should never exceed as far as weight with your truck and everything that's weighing it down. The GCVWR, the rating of the total weight when they weigh your truck, your passengers, your cargo, and everything hooked up to your truck, including your fully loaded trailer. I can't exceed 15,300 pounds. The tow rating of my truck is 9,000 pounds. Again, I got it from their online specs that I believe they're required to publish. It almost never comes into play, frankly, because I'm going to be limited by how much weight my truck can really absorb and carry before I ever get near my tow rating. This is done mathematically, the carrying capacity. Now, it's also written inside the door jamb or printed on a sticker inside the door jamb of my truck. You can go either way. If it's printed inside your truck, it's probably safer to go with that number. And I've seen them vary by up to 30 or 40 pounds. Mine are both the same. But the carrying capacity is the total amount that I am allowed to have in my truck, or weighing on my truck, I should say, minus the weight of the truck itself. So I have 1,575 pounds that I can put into this Toyota Tundra. Where it gets a little bit confusing, and this really does confuse a lot of people, is that the tongue weight of your trailer counts towards your carrying capacity. It counts against it, I should say. So if I'm allowed, if an RV weren't in the question, I can put 1,575 pounds in my trailer. Maybe I'm filling it with gravel or bricks or rock, whatever. I can put 1,575 pounds into this vehicle. That includes any and all passengers, any other cargo in the vehicle, and if I'm towing a trailer, this tongue weight counts against this carrying capacity. That is crucial. That's vitally important to understand, that some of the weight of your trailer is transferred to your tow vehicle. Not all of it, because a lot of it is sitting over the axles and it supports a lot of its own weight. But out of the 6,240 pounds that my trailer weighs, and that is the dry weight before I put anything in it, 740 of that will be resting on the tow hitch of my truck right here. So, all that being said, I am about as heavy as I can safely be for a lot of reasons. And that is where the hitched totals come in. Now, again, I'm a total nerd. These turn green if I'm safe. They would turn red if I'm not safe. Let's say instead of 770 pounds of passengers, because I travel generally with a family of 4, myself, my wife, my teenage daughter, my infant daughter, I guess toddler daughter now, and a couple dogs. Let's say my daughter wanted to bring a friend, and this goes up to 870 pounds. This turns red because now I have the weight of my truck, my trailer tongue weight, 870 pounds of passengers, and 50 pounds of gear, because as much as we say we're not going to put anything in the truck and we don't put anything in the bed, you're going to have backpacks. You know, my teenage daughter's going to have her seemingly 40-pound backpack of God knows what that always has to be with her at all times. So even at only 50 pounds of that, adding that passenger puts the weight on my vehicle at 7,285 pounds with a gross vehicle weight rating of only 7,200. That also puts 1,660 pounds when my carrying capacity is only 1,575 pounds. So again, I'm very close to the line with this setup, but I'm legal. And by their allowable weights, I'm safe. This also assumes that I have 2,500 pounds of fluids and cargo in the trailer. Now, I don't think I'm ever going to hit 2,500 pounds. I have a 40-gallon freshwater tank, so even full, that's under 300 pounds. And yes, we have bedding and we have some dishes, things of that nature, but 2,500 pounds seems very heavy. Although you also have to be careful not to underestimate how much stuff you're going to end up put in your trailer, especially the longer you own it. The more things you realize, oh, I'd love to have XYZ with us when we go on our trips. So these are, like I said, my current stats with my current setup. The beauty of this spreadsheet is if I was trailer shopping right now and I had no idea what I was going to buy, I don't know those numbers, but if I put in the specs of my tow vehicle, and again, I'm honest with myself on the capacity I need to be able to have in my tow vehicle, and that's my family, limited amount of cargo. One trick to that, by the way, is anything you want to take camping that you can, gently in a setup like this, especially if you're towing with a half ton like I am, put it inside your camper, put it over the axles or near the back so you're not adding to your tongue weight. And even though I can only have 50 pounds of gear and food and snacks and my daughter's backpack, I revisit that every time I can, I can put a lot of stuff in the camper, up to 2,500 pounds, even, like I said, with full of water. And by the way, I try to tow with an empty freshwater tank and fill it as I get close to my destination. But I've got a lot of room there. So anything I want to bring that's extra, that's not going to, damage the inside of my RV. I wouldn't put a generator full of gas inside the RV. I don't want to put, super dirty mountain bikes inside the RV. But they can certainly go on a rack on the back. A lot of times you can mount a barbecue on the back of your RV. So it will generally, when towing with a half ton, have more capacity for cargo than a half ton pickup will. So again, if I had no idea what RV I wanted to buy right now, and I was in the shopping phase still, and I enter my truck specs, and we honestly enter the capacity I need to be able to put in the tow vehicle and how much I need to be able to put in a trailer, this will show you down here the maximum dry weight that you should be looking for in a trailer and the maximum hitch weight. Now, I have to look at the dry weight two different ways. You can tell they're within 150 pounds of each other, but if you utilize this, always use the lighter one. And the two ways we're looking at it, one is based on the gross combined vehicle weight rating. I can't carry more than 15,300 pounds total between the weight of the truck, the weight of the trailer, cargo, passengers, and fluids. So at 15,300 minus what I'm going to have in the camper and what I'm going to have in the truck, there's only 6,355 pounds remaining until I'm over that 15,300. The other way to look at it is looking at your towing capacity. If I can tow 9,000 pounds total, and I'm going to have 2,500 pounds of gear added to the dry weight of my trailer, that only leaves 6,500. Now, a lot of people say, wow, only 6,500, that's the maximum weight. You don't get a ton of trailers that are under 6,500, especially if I need, a substantial number of beds because I have a big family. Well, if you are really confident in what you're going to need to be able to take and put in the trailer, maybe you lower this to 2,000 pounds. Maybe 1,500, though you're getting dangerously low there because you will find you add just a lot of stuff to this trailer. The more you camp, the more stuff you realize you want to have. So don't underestimate this, but it obviously has a direct correlation to what size trailer you can buy. Usually you will be limited more by the hitch weight than anything else, especially when trying to tow with a half-ton truck, like an F-150 or a Tundra or a 1500, okay? And again, that is very important. But you can use this as a tool, and again, email us. I'm more than happy to help you. So you can walk into a dealership and say, the vehicle I'm going to use to tow whatever I buy from you today is this, and with that in mind, the heaviest dry trailer I can buy is 7,500 pounds, and it cannot have a hitch weight of more than 755 pounds. So that is my nerdy summary. I hope I've explained it as concisely and clearly as possible so you have a better understanding, but it's just so important for you to be able to arm yourself and know what you can pull, and don't get bullied by a sales rep who sees that you're absolutely in love with an RV that's probably more expensive than one you'd be looking at that's a little lighter, into telling you, hey, you can tow 9,000 pounds with a Toyota Tundra. This trailer only weighs 8,500. You're not going to put more than 500. Just don't let it happen. And I don't want to say all RV salesmen are bad. We had some very good ones, and we did have a few either unethical, dishonest, or straight up ignorant ones who would spout nonsense like that. So thank you for watching. As always, leave any questions you want to in the comments. Email us directly. I'll get back to you personally as fast as I can. And enjoy the experience of going out there to find your first RV and get you and your family out there on the road. Thank you.